Hi, everybody. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on this relatively tranquil Monday evening. Cannot say the same for your Tuesday morning, and that's why we're getting together tonight on 10 TV Plus. Thank you very much for taking some time out and joining us. A couple of notes, as we had done this quite a bit during severe weather season and taken a bit of a hiatus, but still know that on 10 TV Plus we can get a little bit of inside baseball, kind of let it breathe. We're going to share with you the latest information in terms of the models, timing, trend, and also the snowfall amounts is what everybody wants to know, what's going to happen in my backyard and where I live and drive and work and play. But also a couple of really key things to know that we could be somewhat interactive on both the 10 TV Facebook page. We're streaming live right there now in addition to 10 TV Plus. So you could drop something into the comments. I'll try and get to many as possible. And also you see the number on the bottom of the screen and that is to our text line. So if you text something in there, maybe a picture or an update, a question, anything is fine. It certainly helps if you include your location. And if you want to, your name, that will allow, again, a little bit of two-way communication. So we're going to break it down for you in the next 15 or 20 minutes. And again, look at what's happening tonight, what to expect for tomorrow. And just a little bit of a heads up, we might not be done with the snow and the wind and the cold once we get past tomorrow morning. We might not be done with that as we get through the next 7, even 10 days. So just keep that in mind. But first things first, again, number at the bottom of the screen. You're joining us on 10 TV Plus. We're streaming on Facebook Live. So let's get right into it. We have a 10 weather impact alert for your morning tomorrow, going through about midnight to 9 o'clock a.m. That means that we're looking for accumulating snow. Be careful. Give yourself some extra time. We'll talk about some of the things which might be kind of a little bit back in the cobwebs since it's only our first or second winter event for many of us in Central Ohio. Bottom line, just be ready. And there's a number of ways you can do that. One of which, knowing which county you live in. All the counties in the 10 TV viewing area are shaded in purple because everybody within the sound of my voice is under a winter weather advisory. That means possibility of accumulating snow for everybody, and the timing of that, although this advisory does go through 10 o'clock on Tuesday morning, it does look real likely that the majority of the snow will be gone by then, but we'll still be dealing with the effects, the impact, the aftermath of that accumulating snow. A couple of friendly reminders or notes, put my kind of a dad hat on for you. Be prepared. Where's your snow brush? Where's your shovel? Where's your broom? Where are you parking tonight? Got a couple hours. Maybe you can carve out enough space in your garage or carport. That would be helpful. A lot of folks might have those window coverings they can put on their windshields of the car to make it easy to clean. We're not talking about ice or sleet or real frozen, ice situation. We're talking about snow. So be ready for that. Use caution and distance and patience if you're out on the roads, if you have to be. And some of areas I would not be at all surprised to see the level 1, 2, 3 snow emergencies. Too soon to tell who will end up at what level, but just know that some of those include restrictions on driving if you are necessary or medical emergency personnel only. And no matter where you're at, no matter what you're doing tomorrow, it's about as easy as something that we all do every day. Keep your cell phone close by. And just a friendly reminder to download that 10 TV mobile app now. Stay connected. You could be inside, you can be on the road, carefully of course. You could be at work, at school, and just check in. We're going to update that mobile app during the course of the day, even when we're not on regular 10 TV or 10 TV Plus. So just a way to stay connected. You're really going to want to pay attention to that in the morning, then through the middle part of the day as the snow becomes to an end, but we'll also see some of those impacts lingering through the day. Now, I just checked outside within the past 5 minutes. I did not see any snow coming down. Not to say that you're not where you live. However, this first shot of snow is having a hard time overcoming the lowest 1,000 or 2,000 feet in the atmosphere. Keep in mind that these radar scans are constantly scanning and circling the sky, but they're at an elevation, they're at a tilt. So that allows them to get up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 feet into the atmosphere, and normally that's fine. But in this kind of situation, and it happens all seasons, but a lot of times with snow, that snow will fall from the cloud where it's being picked up by the radar, but it won't make it down to the ground. It's only a matter of time, however, before the atmosphere becomes saturated, enough moisture from the cloud to the ground for that snow to make it all the way down. So that will happen later on tonight, probably closer to midnight and certainly overnight into the morning. But we're just going to give you a perspective showing you some of the timing and the scope of the storm. Here again is a leading edge of what appears to be that snow coming down. Some folks might see a passing flurry. We are seeing some snow already in Indiana, in southwestern Ohio, Cincinnati, getting that snow 1 to 3 hours sooner than here in Columbus. And then you'll notice if you look carefully further off toward the south, there's a lot of green down there. So we are going to be right on the edge of the rain, the sleet, the freezing rain, the ice mix, and then the snow. However, if you just look at this over the past couple of frames and then extrapolate or kind of draw a line out, you do see that that line is almost right along the Ohio River, if not just a little bit south. You'll also notice a couple of pockets of some deeper purple just north of that. And when I show you the snowfall accumulation map, that's going to come back as a friendly reminder. So we're looking at a couple areas of accumulating snow. I'm thinking that the majority of the mix or the rain will stay in the extreme southern parts of Ohio, perhaps around Pike County, maybe around Athens, maybe toward Marietta, but those will be on the edge. Everybody else across the state will be primarily snow. Downtown right now, look as hard as you can, not seeing any flakes flying at the moment. Temperature 31, feels like 26. I said the same thing at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Temperature, not really a factor here. If anything, it might help us just a bit because with temperatures right around freezing, that will allow the treated roads and sidewalks and those surfaces, the treatment, the chemicals that are applied there, even proactively or during the event, will be very effective. Not super cold, not super windy, just right around that freezing mark as we go through tonight. Now the next 6 hours does show that snow coming back in. Leading edge of that may or may not be making it to the ground, but the real accumulation still thinking will be after midnight into the wee hours of the morning. Now notice the snowfall chances, how fast they drop. 5 o'clock, it'll be snowing. 7 o'clock, 50% chance, meaning that the back edge of the snow will be moving out. Maybe a flurry, 9 o'clock to 11. The accumulating snow will be done by then. Going through the afternoon, then see a bit of an uptick by 7 o'clock. That's not really a concern. Maybe a passing flurry, but again, no accumulation. So this is the latest model that came in literally in the past 8 minutes because this is different than what I looked at between 9 and 9:30. Bottom line, we're looking at a general 3 to 4 inch snowfall. And you remember as I showed you that line with the pink or that mixed precipitation, generally along on either side of I-71 and all the way out toward the northwest, 3 to 4 inches. And we might see 3.2, you might see 4.1. Bottom line, you're going to be shoveling and you're going to be plowing and you might get away with a couple of the sweeps, but the broom is going to be tough to go by. As we go south and east, it's looking less likely by this model run that the warm air is going to make it far enough north to cause that mixed mess, meaning that if it doesn't happen, that just northwest of the center of the storm, which is where you see this darker blue swath, south of Chillicothe, MacArthur, Piketon, Athens, McConnellsville, a better chance there around Jackson, for example, Marietta, Cambridge, of seeing about a 5-inch plus snowfall. Everybody else in and around the metro northwest should we see around 3 to 4 inches. Now let's time it out for you. After midnight, we're going to watch this area fill back in. 3 o'clock in the morning, just about everybody seeing light to moderate snow. That lasts for at least 2 hours, so that's about 1 to 2 inches of snow during that window. But between 5 and 7 o'clock, we're already seeing the back edge moving in. So if you sleep long enough tomorrow morning, 7:30, 8 o'clock, you might miss most of the snow coming down, but when you wake up, more than likely you're going to see that snow again. Generally, a 3 to 4 inch snowfall is forecast. By 9 o'clock, if you're really sleeping in tomorrow, you're going to miss the whole thing. There will still be snow on the ground, still be some difficulty traveling, but overall the trend will be for that snow to be a real quick hitter tonight after midnight through about 6 to 7 o'clock, and then it moves on through. So that's how things are shaping up for tomorrow. We do want to have a longer look ahead, and then I'm going to go back to the Weather Center and answer some of your questions and your comments. Not totally done. A weak front comes through Wednesday night and Thursday. That's going to touch off a couple of snow showers, maybe a coating or a dusting of snow by Thursday morning. Not near what we're going to get tomorrow morning. Then we're turning our attention to the weekend. Friday evening, Friday night, we're dry. Watching the system, the models have been very persistent in pushing another system, this one taking a bit more of a southwest to northeast track through parts of the Virginias and then the mountains of the Appalachians. It is throwing some moisture back into east central Ohio Saturday 7 a.m. Going through the next couple of hours after that, kind of gets that moisture and then takes it on out of town. That's noon on Saturday. So while we're watching the situation carefully, initial thoughts are that this storm will be kind of a glancing blow to Ohio, but a small track of that either side of the mountains can be somewhat problematic, and we're still 5 days away. So a lot of real estate and time to cover before we worry about the next system, but just know what we're keeping our eye on, and you should too. 10 weather impact alert for tomorrow morning before sunrise, really. Middle part of the day, Wednesday and Thursday, we'll see that cool front drop temperatures just a bit. And with that snow cover, that's really going to make for some cold morning temperatures, teens and 20s out there. Friday morning, 13, 31 for a high. And you'll notice as I get out of the way, the chance of some snow showers still in there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm not sold on any one of those days being particularly better or worse than the other. Just a heads up that it might see some snow each day. Of course, as we get closer, we will fine tune that for you. The other thing you're going to notice is that no warm temperatures at all. Reinforcing cold air Thursday and Friday. Only mid-30s Saturday and Sunday. Monday, not much better. Temperatures back in the mid-30s. So that's a quick wrap, kind of getting you up to speed as we get through the first half of this Monday night and into the day on Tuesday. So I'm going to take some of your questions or comments, and I appreciate you guys chiming in. Bunny Oakley from Logan County, Ohio. Thank you very much. That's over an inch. Hasn't lit up so much more now. Appreciate that. Camden, hi, from Ross County. Ready for the snow? I hope so. I've got to find my shovel and snow brush. I know where they're at. I just need to dig them out before tonight. Nothing in Guernsey County yet, as we would expect. And I appreciate that, Shirley, because the radar scan kind of looked active out toward the east of Columbus, but I suspect that's not reaching the ground. So again, welcome news there. Let's check out some of our text line friends and see if anybody has chimed in the past couple of minutes. 614-460. 3345. Question, let's go. Bloomingburg, Ohio. It's good. That's dash cam. Oh, let's get you up to speed. That was a while ago. Thank you for that. How much snow do you think will actually stick? Good question. The ground temperatures are right around the freezing mark. Some spots a little bit below because we had very little, if any, sunshine in the second half of the day today. Initial shot of snow, somewhat melting on contact, but when it comes down heavy enough, it doesn't matter because it's just going to overcome, and that's when we're going to see some of those accumulations. And it's going to be a situation where the road crews are really going to have a hard time keeping up with all the snow coming down, because at times it's going to be moderate snow, but also because they cannot be everywhere at once, and that's going to present a bit of a challenge. So thank you for that. Is there going to be a lot of dry air where the storm could go over us and nothing drop like the last storm? It seems to be Landon from Sunbury. I would think that that's unlikely. The last storm was a little more complicated. This one seems to be a little more straightforward. And in that sense, that would mean that we're hedging our bets toward being more confident. The last storm did have some variables. We obviously thought we put out a pretty good forecast, but very little, if any, snow or precipitation really materialized here last storm. This one, it's coming, so just be ready. The question is exactly how much snow we'll get. Regardless, even 2 inches is going to be enough snow to cause some negative impacts into the morning. Let's see what we've got here. And Zanesville, will Zanesville schools get closed? I wish I had that deep knowledge about school closings and delays. Muskingum County, let's go to the snow map for you. We showed you the radar here. We're going to go back to the map. Let me get to, just want to make sure I get you the right graphic here. Now again, this is updated in the past 30 minutes, certainly updated from when we spoke earlier this afternoon. This puts Zanesville in that darker blue, and you do see that swath going down. Again, Washington Courthouse, Circleville, Lancaster, Zanesville. That area is going to be on the northern edge of the storm center. It's going to have a little more oomph, a little more gas, if you will, to kind of get things started. And because of that, we expect to see some higher snowfall amounts there. It's also looking like, if you believe this model, and we have every reason to trend that direction, that the heavier snow would be not mixing with any ice or any sleet. That would cut down on snow amounts if it doesn't mix what you see. So I would think, having driven around Muskingum County and Zanesville before, that 3 to 4 inches of snow is going to be an issue for the schools just because of the terrain, and the crews just can't be everywhere. Maybe I'm wrong, but I would hedge my bets toward there being some sort of delay. And it might not just be for schools. Think about the businesses and other associations or civic activities or businesses that might also be impacted and be closed. So we're also going to have that information at the palm of your hand on the cell phone, 10TV mobile app, as well as on 10tv.com, and bringing that to you during the day at the bottom of the screen. Also, when I let you know, our morning news, 10TV News this morning is starting at 4 a.m., an hour earlier. We want to be there for you. We're going to walk you through. We've got two meteorologists, Meredith Garfalo and Aaron White, will be in doing tandem weather and doing whatever it takes to get on top of things, get the latest information out to you, helping you make good decisions to keep you and your family safe. So I think this forecast is pretty much on track. Say that not having seen a single flake yet here in Franklin County and Columbus, but I'm confident that it's coming and it'll be arriving overnight tonight into the morning hours. So I'm going to let's go. Thank you. Marion, thanks for the update there, an inch in Marion. So some of that snow, we got a report from, sorry, give me a second to go back. I appreciate your patience here. I'm not used to clicking with my left hand. We'll get through that. So the areas around Marion and to the north, I'm going to go back to the radar scan for just a second here. It appears that some of that snow is indeed reaching the ground. Thank you for that. And that would simply mean that the areas that we're looking at may in fact have a little bit of accumulation ahead of the main event. And that may portend being on the higher range, maybe that 4+ range rather than closer to 2 or 3. Lithopolis, good evening. Hi, Sam. I'm not sure about Bitcoin. If I knew, I wouldn't be here. I'd be mining and Bitcoining, my heart's content. However, to tell you about the snow in Lithopolis, I do think we're looking at a solid 3 to 4 inch snowfall in that part of the world in the next 8 to 10 hours. So we'll keep that in mind. Going back to our Facebook page for a second. Oh, Dane Jordan, another crying wolf episode. I hope not. Of course you're dry up there in Delaware because it hasn't started snowing yet, but it will. So be ready. Dane and everybody else and our friends in Delaware County. Obetz, Tommy and Heather, good evening to you. Obetz is solidly in the 3 to 4 inch range for snowfall. Athens, probably 4 to 5, Tressa. Thanks for chiming in. Will the sled hills be ready? Jim, I'd say yes. And that only makes it great if the kids don't have school. I'd never be an advocate of anybody skipping school playing hooky. So if school is legitimately canceled or delayed, maybe you'll have your opportunity with your friends and neighbors and family members to get out there to hit some of the sled riding hills. So that's all the questions we have right now. I do appreciate that. I'm going to be Leslie chiming in. Got me, Leslie. Chillicothe, southern end. We're going to go back to that snow map for a second, as we can probably spend a good part of the evening talking about that. And we're generally painting with a broad brush because I think that's how this evening is going to play out, meaning that just about everywhere around 3 inches. And by everywhere, I mean a good part of central Ohio and points off toward the south. This area where you see that deeper blue, the center of the storm is going to be down south of the Ohio River. The only reason that's important is the center of the storm is where we have a bit more push, kind of a bit more energy with the system. And because of that, that will increase the snowfall, the rates down here, and they just will not be able to overcome those temperatures. I don't think we're going to see a mix in that area either, which is why the numbers came up a little bit from our earlier forecast. Everybody else between 3.5, 4 inches of snow, Delaware, Marysville, Newark, Lancaster and Circleville, Licking County, Pickaway County, and then certainly Ross and Pike County, you would be a 4 to 5 inch range. Delaware, Columbus, Marysville, London, over toward the northeast, up near Morrow County, Mount Gilead, that area solidly 3 inches. So if you want to split hairs, 2.5 to 3.5 inches of snow, it's not going to change what you do. You're still going to have trouble getting around. You're still going to be shoveling or plowing. We're not talking between 1 and 4. That would be a difference. We're talking around 3. Even off toward the northwest, I wouldn't be surprised if Kenton picked up closer to 3 inches, although it says 2 inches on the map. This is a model projection. I haven't gone and hand drawn it. I only say that because temperatures will be a little bit colder to the north and west, and because those areas are slightly higher elevation, and because they're probably getting a little bit more snow earlier, before midnight tonight. So generally speaking, And I'm not trying to be evasive. I'm just trying to tell you, plan for around 3 inches of snow. A little bit less, you're fine. A little bit more, you've been warned, because it still requires kind of the same response from you if you're trying to get somewhere. So the other thing to keep in mind, pay attention, please, to the emergency officials. The sheriff's departments are the arbiters of the issue of those snow emergency, the snow levels. Those will be, I believe, changing, probably going downhill for the first half of the night into the morning, and then improving. But some of those do carry some travel restrictions. So pay attention to that. We want to see you safe. Everybody does as we get through this event tomorrow morning. So coming up on 10 o'clock, we're going to be back at 11 o'clock on 10 TV News with an update. Some of this information will be the same, but we still going to add some additional context. We're going to have the latest radar scan, take a look at some area cameras in Ohio to see if it's snowing on some of the roads, and giving you the latest forecast for tonight and the rest of the week. I do appreciate your time, and thank you for joining us on 10 TV Plus. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz. We'll see you in a little more than an hour on 10 TV News at 11. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.